Good evening, everyone. It gives me great pleasure to be back with you all once again with a program for NIPM Kerala chapter. This time, it is our support to the Student National Conference that NIPM's Madras chapter is organizing. So we've got all our student chapters together, and Anand and team, whom I'm going to introduce now in a short while, will be taking us through a curtain raiser for Student National Conference, which we call as STUNA. This is the third edition of STUNA by NIPM at the national level. And the first two editions were held in Pune and Bangalore, and this is the third one. So without further ado, let me going to introduce our facilitators today, panelists who are going to share some topics with all of you, our students. So Shema Sandeep, who's been a very good friend of mine and been connected through NIPM Kerala chapter. Shema has over 17 years of experience in HR, 7 years out of which was in various roles in the industry, spread across companies like AVT, Amalgam Foods Limited, Reliance Engineering, and GPZ Barring. And ever since she got back to her hometown, Kerala, she's been an entrepreneur. Currently, she is serving as a director of Glowmind Training and Consultancy Private Limited, Ernakulam. So welcome, Shema, to our midst. Looking forward to listening to you as well. Next, we have Prasita Prasad. Prasita has over 14 years of experience in HR. Incidentally, she started in sales and then shifted to HR. Maybe students can quiz her on some of that journey after this. And she's worked with companies like IBS, UST, and mostly with the IT sector. And currently now she is with a company named Marriott, which is in Smart City, and it's a Schulte Group company, and she is the manager HR and admin. Welcome, Prasita, to our midst. Prasita also holds the position of secretary for the InfoPark group of NIPM Kerala chapter.
Thank you.
Welcome once again.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Welcome. So we have Sishan as the third panelist, Sishan Sainuddin. Sishan has 7 years of experience in HR. Career began in the Middle East, having experience in media and events, manufacturing industries. Currently, he's again a case of somebody who's come back to his hometown. He's associated with ABC Mercantile Group in Kannur as assistant HR manager. So, and facilitator for today's welcome, Sishan, to our midst. Looking forward to listening.
Thank you, sir. Thanks.
And of course, let me now introduce the Sutradhar or the person who's going to manage the or facilitate the entire event today. My very good friend and whom I connected through Apollo Ties when he was with NIPM Kerala chapter around early, and of course from Rajagiri. Anand will take over today's session. Anand, please take over. It's a great honor for me to get you all and connect to our student chapter and welcoming all the student chapter attendees, including faculty members who facilitated this. Without further ado, let me hand it over to my good friend and the fellow panelists. Anand, please go ahead. All the best.
Thank you so much, Anish sir, for the warm welcome to each and everybody. And on my behalf, I do welcome everybody and wishing you a happy learning. And without further ado, I request Prasida to give her insights on what do students who is looking forward to be in IT should prepare for their betterment. And I request Prasida to take over the session.
Right.
Happy learning to all.
Thank you, Anand, for that introduction, and thank you, Anish, also for all the support. I would like to thank the Madras chapter for giving us an opportunity like this to introduce ourselves and what we have already experienced in our lives so far. So I would like to start with a small PPT. Hope you can see the PPT before you. So
Yes.
this, like, it's my learning. In fact, I started my career with mainly insurance sales and then moved into HR because I was so fed up with sales. So that was the reason why I shifted to HR. But nonetheless, I am still doing recruitment, which is in fact a sales. Okay. So to quickly move to my first slide. So as you would have already learned about the brief history of HR function, basically. So industry welfare was the first form of HRM. In 1833, per se, Factories Act stated that there should be factories inspection, and this was the reason why in 1868 this collective bargaining was set up. In the First World War, a lot of initiation happened towards the recruitment. So that was the early days wherein the welfare officer was being set up. You would be seeing the world wars there too. That is when the recruitment happened heavily during that period. That is when the selection happened, later on training, improving morale, motivation, discipline, health and safety, joint consultation, and wage policies. In the 1970s, per se, there was what say IAS started into being, and during that point of time, you would be seeing that like collective bargaining and industrial relations over here. And towards the 1990s, you would be seeing that focus on improving efficiency and all started to come into place. That is basically because the IT started happening, the call centers, 24/7 working started happening. So that is when those things started happening, and there was a need for a compliance officer as well as people who had to look for a company policies and processes in place. So during the from 2001 onwards, it has been a strategic business partner or a change agent, employee champion. So these are all names. I would say it's an old wine in a new bottle. So that is how the evolution started happening with HR. So I would like to briefly touch upon the professional map. So you would be seeing that this is being characterized by the Chartered Institute of Personal Development, CIPD. You can go through the site to understand more about this. So in fact, in that, they would have already listed down what is this organization design all about. So organization design is nothing but the objectives in short term and long term, assess the current needs and design the organization according to that needs. What is organization development? That is nothing but culture, values, support, strategy, OD interventions, and managing change. Resource and talent planning, of course, you know that without planning for the resources, we will not be able to take it forward. Every organization need to have a manpower planning in place, resources planning in place, what kind of skill sets you need, what kind of induction you need, whether there need to be an audit around the induction, whether need to be an exit process in place, etc. So that is heavily taken care of in resource and talent planning area. So these are some of the core professional mapping of any HR. So L&D learning and development plans is in place, design the solutions, talent management, evaluate learning impact. So these are some of the things which we will learn in learning and development. Performance and rewards, it's nothing but the diversity and skills, capability, experience, performance, market-based rewards, setting up the compensation in place, etc. So these are some of the things. And employee engagement, of course, you would have seen about the employee surveys, which happens in all the organizations. So that is some of the research and measure the development plans for each of the employee and engage them accordingly. So ER is nothing but employee relations. So keep whatever policy you have, whatever process you have, keep it transparent so that all the employees will come to know about it and communicate it very effectively so that tomorrow they don't come back and question why so, why so. There should be complete transparency towards this. Service delivery and information is something like If you are setting up a service delivery, or say like if you are issuing an employee letter, or if you are issuing the payroll, what is a timeline which you can look at servicing this across to the employees? This is what the service delivery and information is. That should in line be with the HR vision, mission, and the goals of the company, of course. So these are the 4 professional mapping areas. So now I would move to the behaviors. So there is also one more thing, which is the banding, band 1, 2, 3, 4, which I will not be covering here. Band 1 is nothing but an starting of an in HR career. Band 4 is something like a CHRO level. So each levels will have different kind of their set of responsibilities. So as a fresher, if you are getting into the job, you will be asked to do things which has been there in the organization, the goals of the organization. So you will have to put in a lot of effort to understand the behaviors. So why that is done? That is why this behaviors is being exhibited here. So decisive thinker, so that would be able to analyze and make robust decisions. Effective communication, that's very important. Nowadays, I am seeing that the MBA students are not reading much or not going through the news. You would all be looking at the WhatsApp and other areas. So I would request you to go through it, listen more, go through SHRM or Economic Times for that matter, go through the CIPD and all the professional bodies. In fact, NIPM ourselves have a learning opportunity with us. So why don't you explore that also? And skilled influencer, able to gain commitment from different quarters in order to benefit the organization. Personally credible, expert in both HR and commercial issues. So before you take a professional approach, you need to know all the things in place. You need to know the latest news, latest statutes, even if it is ESI or PF, everything you need to know. Collaborative, able to work with different kind of stakeholders, driven to deliver, courage to change and challenge, role model, and very curious. What, when, how, where, how, all the questions you will have to ask. Okay. Now we will move into some of the basic skills, which is very important for any HR. Okay. So something that is known as learning quotient: learn, unlearn, relearn. So that's the basic thing for any HR for that matter. So you need to resolve in different kind of conflicts. You need to have a negotiation skills in place. Also, as an IT HR, I would have seen at least like many type of HRIS. I started with SAP, then I moved into success factors. Then I am doing something called Zoho right now. So like, so what say is that you have to be technically quite savvy to understand what the IT scenario is all about. The business acumen is nothing but you need to know where the business is, what kind of business your company is doing. So you cannot sit in one room and tell that your employees have a problem, your manager has a problem, your management has a problem. So this is not about it. So you need to understand what is the budget, what is the top line of this company, what is the bottom line of this company, what is the profit we are making, what kind of competitors we are having. So you need to pitch in as you gain into the bands, which I already talked about. Band 4, you are a CHRO. You will be sitting across to the CEO. You will have to tell him that these are our competitors. This is how you should change the future strategy. That is how you will gain the business acumen. So learn it from the beginning so that you gain it over experience. Emotional intelligence, very, very important. So as a person, you will have to understand why some person is taking leave continuously. It could be his personal issues. If there is a personal issue, you should perhaps help him. Like it could be a compensation related issue. It could be something in his home as well. There could be scenarios wherein he will not be able to perform unless he gets his work things sorted out. So those are things which you need to get it sorted with. And of course, the 7 C's of communication, no compromise on that too. So these are some of the basic skills which is very, very important for any HR. So as a HR, these are some of the skills which I look forward with. So you can see the questions over there. So tell me about yourself, or what is a major challenge you have faced? How do you, overcome the challenges? So these are some of the questions you ask to understand what is the attitude of the people. what is the listening skills of the people, and keep it short and sweet. Like brevity is very important. And sometimes when you are in a different kind of organization, have a different culture, different vision, and all those things. So based on that, you will have to pitch in and change your strategies often. So we need to analyze on those brevity and empathy. With a short time, will you be able to give the solutions out? So these are some of the current trends which forms in the IT scenario. So like this, I will take some time so that you will get to understand how it goes in an IT. Okay, so when I started out itself, there was HRIS in place, but it was not heavily into it. I started in 2005, 2006 during that framework. So nowadays, what happens is that candidate applies with the resume through the same system. You would have seen in EY, you would have seen in Oracle, Accenture and all that. You have to go and send your resume through that. Now, I even hear that they are asking for the PAN card, Aadhaar card, everything, so that they actually see whether there is some identity theft going on. So such kind of artificial intelligence is being used in heavily right now. So that will in future also will gain more and more importance. Organizing team building activities. Yes, HR does a lot of team building activities, be it OBT and outbound training or inside training, all the things. Nowadays, the heavy challenge is that now we are doing the training through online itself, like yoga sessions or movie watching sessions or doing some family activities, how we can motivate each other through online. So automation of tasks, I have already covered. So some of the repetitive tasks can be formulated as an HR solutions team, something like a support team, like a client or a customer support. So such kind of things can be done as a repetitive task and can be formulated as a HR solutions team. Data-driven strategies like attrition threats. So manager obviously will be knowing who is leaving the next day. Manager meetings can obviously be done to know what all the people have, what are the challenges they have. And previously also roundtables used to happen with employees to communicate what is the management's strategy, what is the transparency, what is the upcoming events, how we are looking at, how the compensation will be driven through this year, how is the performance management being planned, what is the employee survey, great place to work survey, such kind of things. Even if we do so, such kind of questions also used to be addressed by the HR, and this used to be taken to the top management. So emphasis on learning, competency, career mapping with continuous monitoring in place. So these are all some of the things. Better onboarding, like setting up the core values, culture, ethics, vision, mission of the company is imperative for any HR. Focus on workplace experience, health advocacy programs like medical checkups, health insurance and all that. Caregiving benefits, daycare, exercise, medication. Nowadays, gyms are also getting introduced into. So in future, we could see that gig economy, mean more freelancers could come into place. So tomorrow's HR leaders will need to be bigger, broader thinkers, and they will have to be tech savvy, nimble enough to deal with increasingly agile and restless workforce. So because we will all be dealing with the baby boomers like you guys, and embrace technology analytics, understand the employees' life stage, change mindset, be proactive rather than reactive, and take across the brand image of the company. So before I stop or conclude my session, these are some of the things which I thought I should tell you guys. So something like create a legendary vision board within you. So, and set up goals. I would say that tomorrow, like 2 years from now, what do you want to become? 5 years from now, what do you want to become? And so gratitude, and be thankful that you are in this world right now. You are doing this course right now. Pat yourself in the back and say that I often say these 5 quotes from Kalam, and I am the best, I can do it, today's my day, God is always there with me, I am a winner. So these are some of the 5 things I daily tell it, and vision myself, like what are the things which I need for the day. Or I jot it down, tick it, and then see where I can improve. So this is something which often rings in my mind, like खुदी को कर बुलंद इतना कि हर तकदीर से पहले खुदा बंदे से खुद पूछा Mujhe Bata Teri Raza Kya Hai. It's by Allama Iqbal. So make yourself so steadfast that even before your destiny is decided, the divine creator has to ask you, come on child, what is it that you wish for? So with that, I conclude my session. So thanks a lot for this opportunity. Anand, over to you.
Thank you so much, Prasida, for the wonderful session. And first of all, I would like to reiterate on some of the very important aspects that she have covered. She have started from the history, the evolution, then the skill sets and trend in IT. And by this time, our younger participants would have a very clear understanding of what is that they should expect when they are looking forward for a placement, right? So thank you so much for that very interesting quote as well, and sharing that goal setting, which is very important in each and everyone's journey towards their own vision. So thank you, Prasida, once again. And now I request Shema Sandeep to take over the session. Thank you.
Okay. Hi. Thank you, Anand, and thank you, Anish. And thank you so much, NIPM Kerala chapter and even the Chennai chapter and all the HR gurus for giving us this wonderful opportunity. And I'm so excited to talk to the future HR leaders here. So in my 15 minutes talk, I would like to reinstall 3 core objectives with you. I will not be doing a presentation. I will be just talking to you. I'll talk to you about 3 core objectives, which I'm sure which will help you in your future HR career. So point number 1, given the situation where you live, how do you prepare for opportunities? I'll repeat it once again. Given the situation where you live, how do you prepare for opportunities? These words I have borrowed from the father of modern HR. Hope you all would be knowing Mr. Dave Aldrich. In Anish, I'll explain this through our own business experience. You might have heard from Anish that what I do. I'm part of Glowmind Training Consultancy Private Limited. We are into corporate trainings, recruitments, and recently we have added another wing to our business line, which is providing emotional wellness programs for both corporates and individuals. During 2018, our recruitments and training programs were going in full swing. So we thought of doing something extra with regard to the recruitment process or enriching our recruitment process. We in fact wanted to move away from the normal or the conservative recruitment style. So with that thought in mind, we did a recruitment drive on 4th August 2018 that was conducted in Morningstar College, Angamani. We offered a free platform for both the corporates as well as the candidates, and it went on in a moderate way. The motive behind doing this recruitment drive was we were thinking the world is moving to a gig work culture. So in that situation, our recruitment process should be in line with that. So we plan to do a lot of creative things in the later drives that we conduct. But all our plans got bombarded. You know how? It was August 2018. Within 10 to 11 days, we were hit by the Kerala flood. We were completely devastated by the Kerala flood. It took almost 6 months' time for us to come back or regain our normalcy. By March 2020, another wave hit us in the form of COVID-19. Again, trainings and recruitments moved into a standstill mode. Now you understand the situation, right? So by this time, we have completed 10 years, that is a decade in business. And we, along with recruitments and trainings, we were also into psychological counselings and mentoring programs. We were doing it physically, but we never thought that was a business model or a revenue model. When COVID happened, all the other businesses moved into online. So as we also moved into online systems. But one thing we could identify was that requirement for an emotional support among the public. So during the COVID time, we developed our own system for providing emotional wellness programs. We were majorly focused on the value that provide to the people whom we are dealing with. The VOI, or the value on investment, that we could provide to the customers, that in fact is gaining us a lot of reputation. See, this was just a model which was there, but suddenly it happened to be one of our major business operations along with the other business lines. Now, I wanted to make you analyze the two scenarios. The first one, we had a plan, but the calamity shattered our plans. In the second case, because of this uncertainty, we in fact got a new opportunity, and or a hidden opportunity was just popped up. So my dear students, what I wanted to tell you is, see, there are a lot of limitations within us, around us, but never focus on the limitations. Just focus on what you can do now at this moment. In your situation, you might be definitely aspiring for a good HR opportunity, and you would be worried that this year, whether you will get a good opportunity, maybe this might continue for the next year also. So if you are not getting an opportunity, will you just sit idle? That is where my point comes. You just need to think of what you can do now. Many of you might be doing internship programs, correct? That is one option. Second option is be active in professional networking platforms like LinkedIn. Increase your network. Please post comments on the latest HR articles that popular personalities post. Even you can also post your LinkedIn post. There is one more option. As Prasida mentioned earlier, NIPM is one of the best platforms that you can utilize. You can voluntarily offer your support to NIPM, talk to the senior leaders or the committee members of NIPM, check with them what you can do. So there are a lot of options with you. If you're not getting an opportunity, don't worry about that, but just focus on what you can do now. So that is my first point. Second point is the unwritten rule of 40-40. The unwritten rule of 40-40. This again, recently I saw a LinkedIn post by Mr. Achyut Menon. He is one of the HR influencers listed by SHRM India, Ether World, and People Matters. What is this 40-40 all about? It is nothing but 40 years or 40 lakh per annum. Now you would be asking me, why I am talking about 40 years? You are just in your 20s. It is a long way to go, right? Again, you will have to cover 18 to 20 years to reach that stage. But there is a reason why I'm telling you. You need to think of it now on. See, COVID has made us understand what is essential and what is not. Similarly, during the 2008 downturn, when recession happened, many companies were cutting down people. And during those times, the bracket was 50-50, 50 lakh salary or 50 years of age, whoever goes above that. Those were the people who were more prone to be pruned. By 2017, automation and digitization came in, wherein this bracket or the death cliff has moved at 40-40. Even now, it still continues. So at 40, if you should not be at the death cliff, what should you do? Or how can you overcome that? Again, I'm talking about what Lasita said earlier. See, if you have no hard skills, definitely you will be at the death cliff. If you are not competent enough with regard to technological skills, you are at the death cliff. If you are not upskilling yourself, you are at the death cliff. So, continuous learning is the answer to this. See, our model is study, work, and then retire. That shouldn't be the case. We need to relook at lifelong learning. Normally, why do you go for?
I have a question. Hello. Hello. Can you hear me?
I'm sorry, Shama. It took a minute for me to sort it
It's
out.
okay. It's okay.
I muted it.
That's
Yeah.
okay. That's okay. Yeah. Normally, we go for learning programs with an eye on the future jobs. It shouldn't be the case. If you are having that right skills, if you are updated with your technological sites, definitely even at 40, you are on high demand. So now you understood why I'm talking about 40. See, at this stage, if you're losing a job, even in your 20s, if you're losing a job, you can manage. But just imagine when you are fully settled with a family, losing a job is really painful. So that is one scenario. The second scenario is you might be an HR professional, but your passion would be something else. Recently, we went, not recently, sometime back, because now it is the corona time and we are not going for any function. Sometime back, we went for a function and the food was awesome. So we just checked who is the catering contractor and we happened to meet him. We were totally surprised to hear that he is one of the practicing chartered accountants in Cochin, and moreover, he is the director for one of the oldest and renowned chartered accounting firm in Cochin. See, this is his passion. He is taking his passion along with his profession. So, dear students, if you can understand what exactly you're good at and what the world requires, please continue your passion along with your profession. Because the world is moving into a freelancing mode. So definitely you have a number of opportunities. You can take both together. It would be difficult, but you can take both together. And at one stage, if you feel that your passion is fetching you more money than your profession, why not make passion as your profession? So here again, at 40 or even before that, you can take up your passion as your profession. So now you understood why I was mentioning about this unwritten rule of 40-40. Now, my third point. Third point is nothing but there is a sheer need for HR professionals to be emotionally, what to say, to be empathetic leader. See, imagine your company is coming under the what to say, great workplace, coming under the list of great place to work with. You are providing the best work culture. You are providing the salary, which is a little above the industry standards. You are having the right resources with you. Imagine one of your employee who is like a backbone of the company, if he is having some personal issues. See, he is 100% happy with the job, 100% happy with the company work culture, 100% happy with his team. But his personal baggage will start affecting him. See, after some time, his performance will get affected. Definitely, gradually. Imagine if your company is a company with 500 or 1000 employees or even 5000 employees. If you have few people like that, the organization performance also will get affected. So in such scenario, an empathetic HR leader is the need of the hour. A person who can empower and empathize with the employee can definitely transform that employee. See, the millennials are the major workforce, and we have heard that there are many cases of depression among millennials when compared to the previous generations. And all this is happening might be because mostly our connections are virtual. The genuine human connection is lacking, and that is creating loneliness. Even researchers say that among 10, 7 out of 10 millennials are having one or other kind of emotional burnouts. So at this juncture, an empathetic leader is somebody that any company, an empathetic HR person or HR leader is something that any company would be looking forward. See, don't think that you will get a job and you start practicing it. No, you can practice it at your home. Empathize with your family members, empathize with your friends or relatives who are in sheer need. So, an empathetic HR leader is the need of the hour. So, I wish to recall or connect the dots once again. The first thing, forget about your limitations and start focusing on what you can do now. The second point is be a lifelong learner, and if you're passionate about something, please make that your profession so that you will be the most creative person in that field of operation. Third one is be an empathetic HR leader. So wishing you all the best and let Stuna 2020 HR 5.0, let this be a kickstart for all this. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Shema. We really appreciate the insight shared. And it was as if a story, as if you are narrating a story. And some of the point which I just wanted to reiterate is, Shema initially said about the setbacks that she had during her tenure, during her entrepreneurial tenure, and then how the business has shaped. So there is an opportunity lies in every crisis, right? So whenever there is a crisis, all you got to do is to step up and be yourself and do what you can do now. That is, I'm just quoting what Shema said, do what you can do now. And again, one thing which I want to emphasize is about the empathetic leaders and this wellness programs. So Shema said this with all the authenticity. However, I am telling a different perspective because I have been a client of Shema's consulting wing, Glowmind Labs, wherein we have reaped the effort of Shema and Sandeep, who have done a tremendous job in improving the wellness of our employees, and they have even coined a stat. There is a metrics to measure the wellness quotient of the company. So. In this, I'm taking this opportunity to thank you for all the support, and I'm wishing you to bring more smiles for my employees as well as many people in many corporates, and make people around you or make their life more meaningful. So thank you, Shema. And now,
Humbled
with
by
this,
your words, Anand.
thank you, appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah. And now I request Zishan Sainuddin to give more insights into how HR is working in a retail perspective. What are the challenges that a retail industry is facing? So all my youngsters, please do note what are the different challenges faced in different industry, so that will help you to equip to be a better professional. So over to you, Zishan. All the best. Thank you.
Hello.
Yeah, perfect.
Happy evening to all.
Yeah.
Thanks NIPM Kerala and Chennai chapter for giving me an opportunity to be a part of HR 5.0 student curtain raising program. In this evening, next 10 minutes, I shall be sharing some insights on HR trends in retail sector to our future readers who are live today. Well, I'm not using a presentation. Okay, I'll be going through like how our Shema ma'am gone through it. So, well, our business is mainly focused into tiles and sanitaries. As for everyone's knowledge, I will be sharing that India is second in the world who produce ceramic products, and majority productions are from in Gujarat. So let's look into some HR trends happening in our industry. As we are HR professional, first most important aspect that we have to be aware about talent attraction and retention. For a good business, talent is very much important. Hence, attractions begin from organization culture, which can start begin from recruitment and which also ends in separation or exit interview. There you are showing how your organization stands out. And by sharing the experience to the outsiders, only we get more talents attracted that, yes, the so-and-so company is good and they shows interest to work with that organization. Well, for hiring required skill talents is very much challenging these days. While we are looking into customer experience from store, there is a huge role for our employees that he or should maintain a standard of hospitality, comfort for the customers to do the business. Therefore, high potential employees retention needs to be ensured continuously through performance evaluation and appraisals. Accordingly, every employee must acquire knowledge on latest new trends emerging in respective business and products. In retail sector, hospitality and product knowledge is very much important. Therefore, continuous coaching is need to happen, which shall be a employee development and career pathing. And when COVID hit to our economy, many of organization has drastically moved to digitalization of business process, especially other than finance or procurement. All even HR also have been moved to digitalization, and also the simultaneously many organization has taken this as positively for employee development, which shown a growth in online education for upskilling. Simultaneously, we must look into employee welfare since due to pandemic, this very challenging to run business operations. Therefore, we need to educate our employees, be mentally and physically fit, need to ensure that our workplace happiness is in relation to assigned job and relationship manager and colleagues. Well, as earlier Ms. Prasida and Ms. Shama ma'am said that about competencies required for HR professionals. HR professional must be a good listener, problem solver, and innovation for customer happiness. Employees have a lot of emotional baggages which may related to their finance, personal financing, personal life, career, so on. Hence, we should always be a listener for them and provide best guidance that may be a good relief, and always need to solve the problems in positive manner or approach, and our problems must be seen as an opportunity. We must optimize the customer satisfaction data, and initiate or propose ideas for customer happiness. Since through our employees only we can achieve more business or our business or goals. Next is drive change management. HR has a great role for any change, any organization changes which may take place gradually. To see the changes, it required to educate or aware the employees with regards to the changes. As I said, the changes will take only gradually. It will not take suddenly. It needs some time to see that visibility of such initiatives. We must try to support them to ensure smooth functioning. For that, it's required educating employees and make ensuring that they know the needs and necessity to do this business transformation. Also need a continuous review on it and welcome suggestion from the employees if required for any improvement such initiatives. Quick response for employee self-services. When employee inquire anything to the HR department or anything related to HR policies, we should ensure we had provided prompt response to them, which leads employee satisfaction. And frequent appreciation is a motivation for employees to achieve business goals with more effectively and efficiently. To run good business, to have a social responsibility, we need to comply with statutory systems, such as we need to ensure minimum wages, employee provident fund, employee state insurance, if applicable, according to the organization's strength. We should be transparent and educate all statutory contributions to employees. And most importantly, we must implement safety measures in order to reduce, mitigate risk of adverse accidents or incidents in organization. Before I conclude, I would like to say to my budding HR professionals that we must be multitasker, continuous learner, and upskilling and build professional networks to yourself to reach to more people and begin career as Indian or junior level. This will help us to know all our stepping stones, like as we says, as I said in beginning by Mr. Anish, I had started my career as an office assistant. So we know the pain of each section or each stage. This will lead us to a shapen a good HR professional. So I thank you for this opportunity and wish you all the best for my budding HR professionals. Thank you.
Thank you, Sishan, for the insights shared. Some of the things which I found very relevant for the newbies is that, retail is a sector wherein if a premium customer is coming to the shop, he might have to be with the customer for 3 to 4 hours, right? So in that perspective, the kind of physical and mental presence that they require is one of the key to run the business. So in light with what Zishan said, retention is one of the key challenges. So we have carefully crafted these 3 different industries or people from 3 different industries to let you know the challenges of HR, right? So in retail, Zishan mentioned about the challenges of having a talent pool or a challenge of having or retaining a talent pool, wherein Shema is looking forward for a gig time or a part-time work mode, and Prasida on the other end is looking for a consistent kind of business, and there is retention is not so challenging in her industry. So every industry do have their own requirement, and happiness at workplace, quick response, or the promptness of HR, and abiding by the statutory compliance and upskilling, networking, continuous learning was some of the other point that Zishan rightly pointed out. So these are some of the insights shared by our panelists. And if you have any question, you can shoot. Either you can unmute yourself and you can ask, or else you can post in the chat box. I'll just wait for a couple of minutes. Anybody?
Hello.
Yes, please go ahead.
Ma'am, I have a doubt. like in the coming ages, automation is going to play a huge part in all organizations.
Correct.
So how challenging it would be for an HR professional to brace the challenges of like more technology and less humans. So
Right. You want to pose this question to anybody in particular, or
no, it's I just like just want anyone to answer
okay?
this one.
Then Prasida would be the right person since she is from the IT industry. You can start. Yeah.
All right. To be specific, you wanted to know like how this technology intervention will be better for an HR person, right? So I think I have already covered that up. You need to be extremely tech savvy for this. So you need to have a learning ability in place. So you need to understand what is happening in the economy for that matter. So what is happening in and around us. Hopefully you would have heard about the blockchain concept. That is, you would have a lot of information being deployed into one place. So in future, this hiring, everything is going to be quite easy, I would say. But it will be tougher to retain the employees in the sense like, how do you measure the employees? How do you measure their happiness? How do you measure their engagement level? Are they really getting upskilled? Are they happy with the competency? Or per se all those areas. So that is why newer companies have come up with employee counseling services. For example, Shama is doing that in person, but in my previous company I have implemented that across into like a counseling services through online, so that the third party will take care of the counseling, because we know that in IT profession people get stressed out. So you need to understand that more and more automation is going to come in place. You would be seeing less and less employees, and how do you keep the connect? That is going to be a huge challenge. Although IT systems will be in place, so that is still yet to get explored with, but hopefully we will come up with something soon. So that is why this organization development, some of the interventions, employee engagement interventions, all come in place. Hopefully I have answered your question.
I was like asking
Yes,
about
Nikhil. And if I'm not wrong, you are asking about what are the challenges that we go to face when the technology is overpowering, right?
yes, ma'am. Like more about in engineering, like in like automobile industry or steel industry. So more and more automation is coming up in these sectors. So
Yeah,
how it,
just to add on to what Prasida have said as a facilitator, and just sharing some of the things that pops up in my mind. 20 years back, Nikhil, when the computer were about to introduce in India, there was a lot of hesitation saying that human beings will be losing the work. We might not have work to do. The computers will take over all the work. But you know what happened? Rest is history, right? The ITES, a huge sector have emerged and it have contributed much to the even GDP of the country. So whenever there is a new technology that is popping up, definitely the routine, monotonous, process-oriented work will be replaced by this machines. In an HR perspective, I would say that the payroll, the normal transactional part of HR would be taken care by the machine learning or AI or RPA, robotic process automation, or chatbots, whatsoever name you call. For the routine transactional activities, yes, there will be a lot of intervention from the computer or from the new generation equipments. However, the core of the HR element lies in the empathy and in the aspect that Prasida, Shama, and Sishan have mentioned. So that human touch is something that we can never replace. Definitely, yes, in engineering, there are many companies who are coming up with a completely automated plants in Chennai, Oregon, and all. So that will be there, definitely, yes. But that will definitely bring in more opportunities in an HR front. You can always think about progressive disruptions that is going to happen. So do not ever think about it as a limitation. It is not a crisis. It is an opportunity. Okay.
thank you, sir. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Nikhil. Yeah. You are from which college, Nikhil?
I'm from the PGDM RBS, sir. Rajagiri Business School.
Rajagiri. Okay. Thank you, Nikhil. Appreciate it. Yeah. Thank you. And if we do not have any question, probably we can wind up. Do we need to wait for a minute more, or we can wind up? Okay. So thank you so much for your time, for your valuable time in the evening. And as Mr. Anish Arvind, the Secretary of Kerala chapter, have already mentioned, this event, the session that we are having right now, is a curtain raiser for the Stuna 5.0, which is organized by the Madras chapter. Okay. Thank you so much, everybody, for the great evening. And once again, thank you, Prasida, Shama, and Zishan, for the insight shared, and my corporate friends and professors who are here. Once again, NIPM Kerala chapter, thanking you all participants, and without your unstitching support, this program would have been a great success. And thank you so much once again. Wishing you all the best. Have a great day.